Okay, Leo, so as I said, I liked your warm-up. Let me think a little bit about what I want to see before we get going here. So let's see working trot, sitting trot circle in that corner, sitting trot circle in that corner, so not too big. So 15 meters would be just past our center line because our ring is 24 meters across, so something like this. So no bigger than 15 meters. Okay, you're going to do that in each corner. Then rising trot over the trot pole. Then I want you to trot on a bending line to the cross rail. Land and go straight. And then halt before the wall. So you're going to trot, walk, and halt after the jump. And then what we're going to do after your halt is pick up the trot on the circle, pick up the canter on the circle, and then canter the bounce poles to the white stack of poles on this side. Okay? So we might do that pattern a couple times. So trot, circle, rising trot, trot your jump, halt on the straight line, canter a circle, canter the bending line, and then go back to trot and begin again. Okay?
Coming down here?
Now press her forward. No, actually. After her walk break, make sure she doesn't tell you that her work is over, right? Just go rising trot for one circle, Leo. I want to get this a little more rhythmic before we start to mix it up. Good. So big circle, get yourself back over towards H, over on that wall, and then we'll start again with the sitting trot. When you sit, Leo, I want you to think about keeping some bend in your hips, keeping your legs back a little bit more under your hips. That's right. So you've got a neutral position. You're not leaning back and you're not leaning forward. You've got bend in your hips, heels back. Good, good. Straight line on the short side, into the circle, right? So now you think about the bend, inside aids to outside aids.
Hi, Laura. Good. Oh, it's hot. It's warm. I'm going to go put my jacket.
Nice. Halting straight, left leg. Good. Excellent. And lead change, outside aids. Okay, look in, look up, don't look down. Outside rein back. Exactly, okay? Good. So Leo, at no point do I want to see you look down for the lead. You're going to feel when it's right, okay? Good. Back to trot and begin again. I liked the last pattern quite a lot. I want to see her just a little bit straighter. Be strict with her about the straightness into the halt. Think of pushing your thighs back a little bit. Get your lower leg back deeper. Back more on her belly, not her shoulder. Rising trot. Good, legs back, bend your knees. Whoa, rhythm, rhythm. I didn't see any half halts. Turn right, turn right, turn right.
That's fun.
I know. Now turn right, and you're gonna go start with your trot pulls again. Because she warned you so many times. She was like, I'm speeding up, I'm speeding up, I'm speeding up. And then she was cantering before you did anything about it. So I wanna see you trot to these pulls. Don't let her change it. Steady, steady, good. And halt. So there, Leo, we need to fit in a couple more half halts before she jumps. So turn right, look to the right, and turn right towards the corner. Other right. So Leo, just walk us out. You're probably having trouble hearing me because it's so noisy, but so I want you to turn right. We're gonna come do this again because she took off, or she cantered and then took off too early, right? And we want her to trot right to the jump and then jump from the trot. Okay, so with your 2 even hands, little half halts all the way to the jump. Easy, easy, talk to her. Oh, halt, halt, and turn right. And get your trot rhythm sorted out. Give her a little pat on the neck here. Just tell her you're fine. Just be relaxed, mama. Looking up. So rhythm. Half halting as needed, trying to keep her the same beat. Oh, turn right. Try one more time. It was better. She didn't speed up. She just still did the canter step. Better. Keep going, Leo. Half halt. Squeeze, squeeze. Yes, much better. Good. Just need to then still have a good release, which is the tricky part. Good job. Continue. Nice. Beautiful. Get your lead change, looking up, kicking outside leg. Look up, lift your inside rein up and out a little bit. Good, now half halt the outside rein, keep the leg, you got it, good, continue. Circle, good, back to trot. And this time, Leo, you're gonna walk over the poles. So you're gonna trot towards the poles and then walk over them. And then trot your jump. Good, now start to sink down and walk. Eyes up, good. Good girl. Keeping your little half halt. Release, good. Good. Good, carry on. Just need to make sure that you don't let go of that halt too early, right? Because she was about to stop, you softened, and then she turned to the left. So just need to smoothly make sure you finish the job there. Good. Good, looking up. One more, half halt hard outside. Outside rein, good, you got it. Now keep cantering, Leo. And you're gonna do your bending line and canter now. 6 strides from pole to jump. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we got 7 because the track got too wide, right? Circle and canter. And then I want you to do the next line cantering in and out in 6. She's been doing 7. Make sure she keeps her canter rolling along a little here. Good, straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Get your lead change and then let's come do the next bending line again. Look up, look up. Yeah. Good. So same canter as you had last time, but a little less wide in your track, right? Middle to middle. Look at your jump. Good, and you got the 6 that time. And a beautiful ride away, Leo. Great job. She's getting more trained. Good for you. Okay, trot and walk and give her a pat. We'll let her catch her breath here for a minute. Good job. Okay, Leo, let's have you start off the right, cantering the pole, 6 strides, middle to your jump. Then you're gonna jump, so you're jumping that, this is 1, 2, around to 3 on the next quarter line. You're gonna circle back and jump 4, 5, 6. Okay, so you've got 6 strides here, 6 strides there, but in between your bending line now, you're doing a full circle where you jump those jumps again before you come here.
So I'm not doing the circle over there. I'm just going to go round, jump, 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 jump.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the canter's just a little bit short there, Leo. Look at your jump. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Good. Nice balance. Good job. Look at your next jump. Good. And I like how your contact stayed a little bit loose actually from jump to jump here. You didn't restrict her at all. Good for you, and you got the lead change efficiently. Okay, good. Walk and give her a pat. Let's do that again. Let's canter, trot, and walk. That was a bit messy. So try again there. Feel how your hips are going the wrong way. Back to trot. Set up the canter again. Push her hips in with your outside leg. Good. Looking up. Nope. Look up. Back to trot. Good. Make a small circle. Just trot her on a small circle so she gets listening to that outside leg. Small circle. Look where you want to go. Small circle. Outside leg. I need to see your outside leg turning her. That's right. Outside leg. Good. You got it. Good. Now when you're ready, preparation, package her up and then trot. Good. Good. Push her hips in a little bit. Outside leg, push the hip in. Outside leg back. I don't even see the outside leg on right now, Leo. I see daylight. Half halt, slow down. Outside leg back and on, making contact with her belly. There we go. There we go. Yep. Half halt, slow down. Good. What you'll find is she'll try to escape from doing that by speeding up, right? So you need to do both things. You need to slow her down and push her hips in. Okay, let's give her a little walk break. Good, you rode the jumping portion really well. So now we're going to start off the right. You're going to jump this bending line. Then the next bending line, so 6 and 6, and then you're finishing with your circle. So after you do the second bending line, you're jumping that one again and that one again. You got it. Okay. Let's give her 1 minute to walk and steam for a second. I'm just going to turn this one into a jump as well.
Okay, can I get started?
Yeah. Got your plan? We want to find that middle, that working canter, right? She's quite quiet today, which is a nice bonus, but we don't want her to get so quiet that she's adding strides in all the lines, because that's not as useful for our purposes as, you know, for developing a jumper. We want her to have the ability to add, but to also be very comfortable in her working on stride canter. Seven. Leo, you need to give her more release. Soften your arm across the jump so that you don't limit her scope. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. Look at your jump. Stay tall. Look at your jump. Nice lead change. So go get the last 2 jumps again. Yeah, you're supposed to finish on this one. So jump the white on the wall over by K. Good, now. Okay, and what? What's that?
Can I do the whole course again?
Yep, yep. So let's talk about what do you want to do differently?
Well, at this here, I want to slow down.
Okay.
If you're going way too fast.
You don't need to slow down much. Where I saw her go a bit too fast was there, making the turn where she slipped a little bit. She's not actually going that fast. It feels disorganized because she's in between leads and a little bit unbalanced. So what she needs to do is, or what you need to do is to help her organize that canter, right? With the bend and with continuing to ask her for that lead change behind. So your legs are on and you're half halting the outside rein. She up here gave you a couple of nice flying lead changes, okay? But on this half of the circle, for whatever reason, she stayed disunited. So make sure when you jump here, you're looking for your next jump and you're continuing to ride the canter as best you can from jump to jump. You may not get the lead you want, but if you're working at it, you're going to be helping to balance the canter that you do have. Okay, let's try that again. And remember, this way is her hard way, right? The right side, the right circle is much tougher. So that's where on the left circle, it was pretty easy to keep her organized. On the right, she has a bit of a struggle. Nice. Good. So stay on that canter, Leo. Look at your jump. Outside rein, release. Good. So you got too fast there, huh? She was good, but you were kind of egging her on back there when you needed to just be staying the same. Okay, so overall that was much better. Now what were you saying get about over here?
Well, she was kind of going slow and she's starting to kind of stumble.
Oh, okay. 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 So I think there you probably just need to soften your hand a little bit and still keep your leg doing what it's doing, right? Be careful that you don't jazz her up too much with the leg, right? Because then what you're doing is you're taking one canter and you're trying to lengthen her to the jump, right? Which usually doesn't end very well. It's much easier to work out of the canter that you already have. It's not that you can't make adjustments, but you need to make adjustments within the rhythm that you have, right? So that you're slightly lengthening or slightly shortening, but not speeding up. Okay, let's do that pattern one more time. Good, Leo. Keep your arms moving, flexible, riding rhythm from the leg. Good, looking, bending, half halt. Don't give it all away. Wait, don't rush. Good, now big praise for her for landing on the correct lead. Yeah, good girl. Oh, and she's breathing and everything. Did you hear her? She just let go of her breath. Oh, Blaze, come now. She's so tuned in to what the horses are doing, right? Like the horses are coming in, or the horses are being fed, or somebody's leaving, and she's always like paying attention to that as well. Right? That's why she's screaming. Okay, so much better, Leo. I thought you started to really think about the bend that time, which really helped your canter. Here there was still a little bit of a moment where it looked like you wanted to go faster, and you kept the feel. You kept it organized, okay? The thing is, you need to have the back end of the horse and the front end of the horse, right? That you're working together. You're sending her forward, you're keeping a feel of her, right? You don't want to drop her like that, and you don't want her to lose her engine from the back end, right? If you're holding and she's going like this, right? Even if it's just slowing down the canter, then you get to your jump, she's got no energy. At the same time, if you have the energy and then you drop her, depending on the situation, she's either just going to get heavy and on the forehand, or she's going to speed up, right? So you want to just help her say like, okay, this is our canter, this is how big it is, now let's keep this around the course. Okay, so better job of that there. I want to work a little bit on your position and release. So I want you to keep her walking. I'm going to bring in a couple more jumps. Now she might think it's very exciting when I open this door. Okay, are you ready? So you're going to be coming down the wall, past the door, inside the wheelbarrow, and turning back to that gray and white vertical. Does that make sense? Okay, so you're doing that in the canter. Then I want you to trot across the diagonal and then trot into this grid, and it's a 1, 2, a 1. So make sure through your rollback turn that you're looking for your jump and waiting to turn until you line up with it. Making sure you jump it squarely in the middle. Good. Leg is firm, arm is soft. Looking ahead. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2. So let's do that again. So she was a little distracted, not all that focused. Got there and she made an effort, but it wasn't her best effort. So we'll try that again. Again, we want the canter through the turn to be the same as the canter you have on the wall. And then the outside left leg here is going to make sure that she is lining up with her jump. Yeah, very nice. Good job, Leo. So now just trot across the ring onto the right rein, and we're going to trot into the grid. Ava. Look up, outside rein. Good, Leo. Release it as soon as she gives. So just trot a set or walk a set. Good. Now with the lead change, I just want you to be a little smoother about it, okay? It's not slamming the brakes on. You're just putting the brakes on and then softening, okay? It's the same feeling like if you were going to back her up, right? If you were going to back her up, it would just be this, right? You wouldn't go, right? So it's just, you need to be firm and clear about it, but not overdo it. That was a bit of an overdo, okay? Now through the grid, it makes me wonder, hang your feet down onto your stirrups. Okay, so let's go up one and see if we get a better hip angle. Now these are really big holes though, so they might feel really short. How are you feeling in the saddle, by the way? Is it feeling small for you yet, or is it all right? Like 4 inch. Okay, so the reason I noticed that I wanted to shorten your stirrups is it just looks like you're having a bit of trouble keeping your hips bent. And I know I keep talking about this, but I want to see your leg tends to sit a little in front of you. I still want to see that leg come back so that your heel is under your hip. So make sure you like your trot, your heel is under your hip is bent. And then when she steps in over this pole, the hand is going forward, right? Your hips are staying bent so that you're going to keep this bend in your hips through the whole grid. Okay, leg is good where it is now. Make sure it's not starting to get out in front of you. Okay, let's try that.
Should I just do circle trot and then trot?
Yeah, sounds good. Got the lead, look up. Good, outside leg. Leo really needs you to work on your eye level there, okay? You got really sucked into her. Let's come right away to the grid again. We'll try that again. Now this direction, 95% of the time, she's gonna be landing on the wrong lead. So you need to be thinking about organizing your lead change so it's not a surprise when you're all of a sudden making the turn and going, oh, I'm on the wrong lead, right? You're probably on the wrong lead this direction. Okay, so unless it feels absolutely perfect and fantastic, you need to be setting up the lead change. Make sure here you've got her attention and her energy so she's not thinking about stopping at the first jump. Good, much better. Hands down. Preparation. Perfect, soften up, good job. She was much, much quicker getting organized that time. Good, Leo, walk and give her a pat. Eyes up, eyes up. Leo, when I look at you, I never want to see your helmet brim like that, okay? I need to see it all the time. And that's about where your head is, right? Keep your chin up. It's like if you were playing soccer or hockey or anything, right? Let's say you're playing defense, right? You've got to be able to keep your body square to what's happening and keep your eye level up, right? So you can see everything that's happening. Same thing when you're riding. And for us, it's more that because when we do this, it affects what's happening underneath of us, right? The horses don't balance or organize themselves as well when we're looking down as when we're looking up. Good, much better ride in. Through the grid, I want to see your hands a little bit lower. Okay, make sure you're beside her neck, not above her neck. I'm going to add the last one here. And then a much, much better lead change that time. Okay, so now we're going to jump in canter. One stride to one stride, keeping your hands low over your jump. Then you're going to go down the wall and do your roll back turn over this jump. And then left rein, one stride to one stride in canter. What's that? Yeah. So make sure not only are you cantering, but you're in a good canter to go to a triple combination, right? She needs to be a little bit awake. Not fast, but awake. Good. Hands wide and smooth. Good. Leg on. 1, 2, 1. 1. 1. Good, Leo. Now smooth with the lead. Okay, simple change it because you're going to run out of time here. Look, canter, look at your jump. Okay, good leg. Looking ahead, rhythm, rhythm. Each step the same. Wait. I love your position in the last grid. That's looking way better. Good, Leo. So your hip bend and your 2-point position coming this way was excellent. Did you feel that you sped her up a little bit and then you had to wait, right? So there's where a place where you need to be a little bit more patient with your rhythm. And then here, this turn on the wrong lead is a bit too tough, so that's why I was saying simple change, but then she picked up the wrong lead anyways. And in that situation, you were good to keep going and make the best of it. We're gonna try that again. So now that we don't have a circle after this, into the lead change, I want you to think about leg yielding her out a little bit, then ask for the lead change before the wall. And then you've given yourself a little more space to get it organized. Okay? Kind of hot. Okay. Quick, quick. Good for you. Make sure you're relaxed with your arm. Look for the turn. Wait. Good girl. Nice ride, Leo. Now I expected something better there because I thought you rode that great, and for whatever reason she hesitated and took a little stutter step. So she was a little bit at a long distance, but your rhythm was great, your leg was on. I thought that she would account for that better than she did. Let's come right away off the left and do that again. Don't change your ride. Just make sure your support is there, your rhythm is there. The only thing I would say you could change a little bit is just make sure your leg is strongest in the last stride, okay? Like strongest in the takeoff stride. Here, send her on. Okay, and let's come right away again and try that again and see if we can smooth it out. I don't know what that little spook was about, but it made you have to ride a bit strongly, and then it was an override in terms of the exercise. So good for you not to give up there, Leo. Now see if you can keep it quiet and supportive. Good ride.
I know what I'm going to do when I'm able to.
Good ride. You're so good in your leg there, Leo. Excellent support of her through the grid. Okay, big pat and a trot. And then just keep her trotting for a moment. She can do a couple of circles or serpentines and then be done.